All right, what is up here? Jared Nelson, editor-in-chief, prephoops.com. Welcome. Thank you so much for making it this far. Super excited to have you on the crew. And let's get you set up now on the website and introduced to the posting process. So here we go. I am signed in. You can sign in. If you're not signed in, you'll see it up here. It'll just tell you to log in. You can change your password at the My Account page here. As you will notice, I do have the Prep Network posting checklist on already or up. Really thorough, awesome job here by Jack Borman. Jack did a phenomenal job. Just going through this, definitely keep this one top of mind, so you don't forget anything. It's really important here, the formatting of pieces, and yeah, Jack did a nice job with that. So keep that close. First up, yeah, let's get right into it. So, in order to post a new article, you hover over this new section here and hit post on the drop down, add new post. So here we are to the back end of the site. And yeah, we'll just kind of run through this page here together and get this thing going. So as you can see, title up top here. Titles are super important for our site. We are a paywalled website, so the vast majority, probably 90% of our content does have a paywall on it. So the majority of our audience or people who are coming to the site may not be able to see the entire story to know what it's about. So I always say, like, it's really important then to have a descriptive title, but also keeping it succinct, so that readers know exactly what the story is going to be about. They're going to probably like just hop online, see it on their phone, whatever, and they'll know kind of what the story is about. So say University of, I was like, what was the event you were at, or what's the kind of like premise? Is it a conference preview? Is it a look at a certain class? Then you can do like top shooters. This is a really good premise for an article. You know exactly what this article is about once you see that title. Well, one thing that makes it really good too is you can segment things. So say you were at the University of Minnesota team camp. You can do an article on top shooters. You can do an article on top playmakers. You can do one on defenders. Really good if you want to break it up by year. Top juniors, sophomores, standouts. So many different ways to break things up. Let's go top shooters for this one. Just players who scorched the net. Really good, easy, pretty straightforward. You know exactly what you're getting here. So it's a pretty good example of things. Then you come down to this section here. This is where the body of the story goes here. Intro section, body of story goes here. So this is kind of where the story is written. A typical story will have an intro in here. As you can see, mine all have underlines. This is because I have Grammarly installed. Grammarly is a Google Chrome plugin. Cannot recommend Grammarly highly enough. Grammarly.com is what it's called. Anyone who's publishing content on the web, which is all of you, you'll want to use that. It's a spell checker, grammar checker, really good resource, totally free, and will really clean things up. So even I have an English degree, and I make mistakes from time to time. Definitely get Grammarly. It's a lifesaver. So jump in there. Yeah, just type in the story directly up in here. We'll ensure that the fonts are correct and things are looking good. So a typical story, then you'll have kind of an intro, and then you can get down here to the player coverage. Maybe you want to do it like that. You'll do it like that, and there. And so add a couple sentences of analysis. Like here, that's looking good. And then, 5 or so players. Let's see one more. This is a perfect story. This is exactly kind of what a story would look like. Quick little intro. We were out at the U of M. This so-and-so team won. So-and-so team came from far away. Let's get right to the player coverage. Here were the top shooters. That would be like an intro, and then you get right into the player coverage. So this would also work for like a kind of a preview type of an article, like who to watch at a certain camp or in a certain conference, or top performers from a week or something like that. So one thing to kind of help with the formatting is I always, the first time you mention a player's name, just try to bold that. I always try to make that look good. really pops off the page there. You really like when you jump into this article now, it sort of differentiates the analysis from the players and things of that nature. So then what I always do too, just to kind of flare it up a little bit, is kind of you can change the text color. We kind of got the nice orange motif going on the site, and you can just do it that way. Those look pretty good. Bam, bam. That looks awesome. So again, just kind of makes it distinct. We don't gotta get crazy and like none of us gotta be like artists with it, but just kind of make it stand out, make it look good. Really, really clean, really easy to read, really easy to digest. Another piece, so this would be great. This would be a phenomenal story. It's totally optional, but you definitely can add photos into the body of the story as well. In order to do that, you'll want to click for where the photo belongs. And you'll hit this add media button here. Again, that you click where you want the photo. Say we got a photo of this player, you'll just hit that add media button, and then it will bring you here to our media library. So every photo that's been added to the site will automatically be saved into the media library here. So you can find it, you can totally search it, always upload them as well if you have those. So say I do happen to have a photo, say it is this one. This will just add it to the media library and it will insert it right in the page. When it's uploaded, it will kind of come in with this cropping tool built in. Really, really valuable piece here. Definitely something to not just neglect. Because then, yeah, you just hit that crop button. That's a bad example because it wasn't cropped very clean. You can always jump back in and recrop the new one. Maybe I want to get it like so, and we'll crop that. Now this will be added to the media library here. So, but say, I just want this one here from the expo. Again, you can crop it there. You've got titles here, captions there. I was giving photo credit. Is highly, highly encouraged when you're grabbing a photo from another source. Giving it a title so then you can search for it later on in the media library. Let's say we just add that one in there. So you can see now the spacing is a little bit weird with kind of how it's fitting. You've got all this blank space here. Take that seriously. We want this to look clean. We want this to look professional. This looks a little weird right now. So the best way to do that is click on the photo itself. As you can see, it's not aligned at all. If you want to jump in and edit because the cropping is weird, you could do that. I like with like a headshot like this, thumbnails usually work really, really good. So you jump in there. Still, we've got this weird space. So you just click on that and you can align it left. Now the text, it's called wrapping. The text wraps really, really nicely around that photo. Say we want to do, this player now. We've got a photo of him. That just happens to be Tyus Jones, let's say. We search for him in the media library. Usually doesn't take this long. I'm guessing we got a lot of, there's no Tyus Jones. How about Trey Jones? Any Duke fans out there? There should be some. Maybe we've cleared this out recently, so all former grads. There's a good picture of Trey. I believe Alex Conover got these ones. So insert that one into the post. Again, some weird spacing here. Always click on that photo. Make sure it's aligned correctly. We can do this one right. And so, yeah, that one's there on the right side. This one on the left. Nice balance there. Really, really clean. This is an awesome article. One thing I always encourage guys to do, this preview button right here. You hit that preview button. This will show you what the article looks like before it goes live. Definitely something to keep in mind. This will pull up in a new page. It takes a minute. You'll be able to jump in and see. That looks awesome. Really, really good, really clean. We definitely are not trying to like reinvent the wheel with with formatting. Just want to make it clean. Really want to highlight that analysis and highlight a bunch of players by making those names jump off the page. So that looks awesome. And we'll keep going down the page now here. So you got this post options now. So paywall status, we'll leave that to yes. This will just ensure that it has a paywall. Again, 90% of our articles do have a paywall. So just keep that standard and keep that kind of consistent across the board. If there is an article that you want to make free for whatever reason, just hit me up or hit Anthony up and we'll be able to kind of talk you through that. And we can kind of show you how. It's super easy. Just change that to no, and then make sure that box is checked, which will automatically check it when it is no. But making sure you do that. Just we can kind of talk you through it. We're open to certain articles being free, but we can talk through that. So the article description is here. This is kind of a short 1 to 2 sentence description of the article. So I always like to kind of restate the title there. Sometimes I'll ask a question. Who was last weekend in Minneapolis? So as you can see, when you've got the article description up, you will see the here are some teams to watch come section tournament season, section dark horses. There you go. Kind of same thing. Here's you shouldn't sleep on them, stuff like that. If you come down, you can see them there. We've got some team stuff. So yeah, you've got some names to watch, stuff like that. Just kind of renaming that title in there, just again to kind of catch the audience and give them a flavor for things. The one thing I do want to note as well that will show up on this side of the screen is you can always change the author of the story. So we have a lot of contributors who are coaches, people who work for different organizations or have relationships in the high school basketball scene. You can publish anonymously. You just have to change the author here. So again, you click that screen options. Make sure this author box is checked. And then if you come down here, then that will add the author. I'm just signed in now as test author, but you just got to go up to Prep Hoops staff, change it there, and you're good to go. To just kind of give this an anonymous. You'll still get paid for it. It will. You can still put it on your end of the month timesheet, but it will just be published anonymously. So that's it for the left side of the screen here. We can kind of jump over to the right side now in the featured image section. So featured image is the main photo here. So all these are featured images. Boom, boom, boom. Again, all these boxes too where the featured images sit are all horizontal in nature, as you can see. So it works out best when you pick a horizontal photo for the featured image. Definitely something to keep in mind. That is why when we upload a photo, it will automatically, this is again uploading one from your computer or your phone, it will automatically bring you this cropping box. This is exactly the size of and the dimensions of the featured image box. So do not, you always want to crop photos when you put them in there. Just stretch that out, make sure it fits, hit that crop image. Now it will not be warped, you won't get a weird zoom on that. Or anything like that. The other thing to note, obviously, like this is the home page of the screen. This is like the front page of the newspaper. You'll always want to make sure you have high quality photos. I can't stand when I jump onto a site and see something that's super grainy or just the file isn't big enough, so it comes through all pixelated. All these photos are really, really crisp, really, really clean, really, really clear. We have really good photos in Minnesota, and it's a luxury. But it makes that site look good. So make sure you're using photos that are high quality. You can jump in and edit it. With this page here, or the cropping one is really, really easy. Just do that right there. Again, title, just so you can search and find it. Martin Bros girls earlier. Obviously it's a girls photo on the boys site, but then you can give photo credit. I actually got this one from Mason Asher. So then you just set that featured image and it's in there. And again, encourage you to hit that preview button to jump in and make sure that looks good. So yeah, that looks awesome. You see the author here is Prep Hoop staff. And that article is looking awesome. Really, really clean, really clear. The photo, that's a nice photo with the sweet kind of watermark on it. Keeping things rolling now. Featured image is good to go. Next up is the state tag. So you'll definitely want to tag the state. As you can see, we're up over 30 states in the network. This will determine which website it's published to. So if you do not tag a state or you forget, it will not be published on any of these sites. Our virtual assistant will not tweet it. It's not going to be good. So definitely make sure you do not neglect that part of the process. Just tag your state and keep things rolling. Keeping going up the page now, we've got this tags button. Nothing you need to do here. This is just the automatic post tagger. Nothing essential on that page. That it will happen automatically. You can just kind of leave that as is. Keeping things going now, we've got these categories. So as you can see on the homepage here, we've got different categories, things breaking out that way. This is kind of will determine what things go in there. It's pretty self-explanatory. If it's a high school article, it goes there. Grassroots, it goes there. If it has recruiting info, and it goes there. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm always happy to answer questions if you're not really sure on the category. This one would probably be a high school one, as high school teams are playing and stuff like that. So Last up is the publish section. Again, always encourage before you publish, hit that preview button, make sure it looks good, and make sure it's good to go. That looks sweet. Again, even after you publish, make sure, just jump in, check it out, make sure nothing looks wonky. Just really caring about the quality of your work is a huge deal, and it literally takes 5 seconds to just jump over to the site, click into it, make sure it's good. Give it a proofread, things like that. So you always have the option as well to schedule things out. I highly encourage this. Like say you were at University of Minnesota Teen Camp and you've got 4 or 5 articles coming, each with a bunch of players. We want to avoid publishing all those like in the same couple of minutes, in the same hour, just because things will get pushed down the homepage. We want to make sure that everything kind of gets its shine and is on the site for long enough. So that's why we do that. Is you can schedule it out. So maybe you publish this one, at 3 o'clock here. Then you publish another one, later tonight. Even if you wanted to go like early tomorrow morning, just to spread things out, give things, so the audience kind of knows, that things are going up consistently. And then you just see when I go to schedule that, it just changes that to schedule. So for your first couple stories, though, what I'll have you do is just hit save draft. And then let Anthony or I know that you are done and you've got one for us, and we'll jump into that all post page and check it out. So that is an important thing to note, that all posts section. You can always jump back in there and find old stories. You can find drafts that you've been working on, things of that nature here in the all posts section. So you can kind of sort it by author, sort it by state. Really, really easy to just jump in here and see how things are looking. So yeah, you'll just kind of do that, and you can also add new stories there. One other thing to note is Contributors Corner. You can see that link up here. This is a great resource. As you get started, you kind of have seen how to post articles now. The Contributors Corner is a great resource just to get started with. A lot of different examples of different types of coverage. You can kind of navigate those through those here. A lot of different, a great resource with just tons and tons of examples for things that you can try, things that if you're like, we're coming along to preview season, jump around and kind of see just some examples, some ideas, and get the creative juices flowing there. So once you post that story, you are good to go, and things are jump over, of course, and check it out. Hop on Twitter, tweet the article, tag the players in it is always really, really important as well. Kind of amplify that stuff. You work hard on this. Definitely want to make sure that people see it and it gets out to the masses. So as always, holler if you have questions. This is Jared at Prep Network, or Jared at Prep Hoops, or Anthony as well. And that's kind of the first step here. So you've watched the video. Hit us up. Make sure that we know that. And good luck with the coverage.